a new dawn, and a new year.
It takes determination to be the best. Hundreds of participants reaching for a dream, woven through 131 years of tradition.
It all starts right now.
Welcome to 2020
And America's New Year's celebration.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Laura Farber, President of the Tournament of Roses Association. Welcome to sunny Pasadena and America's New Year's celebration. On behalf of the Tournament of Roses and its dedicated 935 volunteers, I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year. Feliz Año Nuevo. And now, to kick off our incredible parade, is the world premiere of an original song, co-written and produced exclusively for the Rose Parade by 19-time Grammy Award winner Emilio Estefan. Please welcome Atlantic recording artist performing Reach for the Stars, Allie Brooks.
Nuevo año, nuevas resoluciones, un nuevo comienzo y que vengan cosas mejores. Y desear la vida y que fluyan las pasiones, que no estamos para atrás y que vengan más bendiciones. Let's go. Con la mano arriba. La mano arriba, arriba.
I'm ready to depart, I'll be reaching for the stars. Let me know if you do believe that together we can dream. If you give a hope a better time, there's no end to all the love you'll find. We all need to live like we care for our love. Time to celebrate. This is the way. It shines on the stars at night. It's never too late.
That is one of the most highly anticipated scenes of the parade.
Yes, I mean, just when the open, you thought it couldn't get any better. Here comes that B-2 flyover. You can just hear it. It's coming over us at about 1,000 feet altitude. There is our booth right now.
There
you can
we
see
are.
us, and we're right here.
Hi.
I love this moment. It's so exhilarating. What a way to get this parade off the ground, so to speak.
Listen, it's thunderous, it is majestic, the crowd is hushed for this moment.
Oh, it's always my favorite. I get chills every single time.
What a great way to kick off this brand new year. Welcome to 2020. Welcome to a new decade. We are so excited to share it with you. I'm Lisa Gibbons.
I'm Mark Steinis, and welcome to the 131st Rose Parade presented by Honda. Can you believe another year has passed?
It has zoomed by. We always say that. Ready to put that one in the rearview mirror. Let's be future focused.
And
the day for it.
The good news is this: we're opening this decade with one extra day this year because it's a leap year.
Yes, that's
Happens
right.
every 4 years. Yeah, so we have that with us. By the way, talking about that B-2 flyover, so that will occur again later on today during the Rose Bowl game to kick things off. However, there'll be a little something different there'll be a female behind the piloting that one.
Isn't it great? That's a first, Mark.
Yes, it is a first.
That is a first. We've got lots of firsts, actually, this year for you. The Tournament of Roses has its first Latina president. You saw her, Laura Farber. We're crazy about her.
She's fantastic. Yeah, she's the Wikipedia, if you will.
She knows everything about the Rose Parade.
Yeah.
And she is the one that came up with the theme that is just universally so loved, which is this year's theme, The Power of Hope.
Yeah, so there's so much going on. We have a lot of first things to get to, but the first thing we need to get to is to say hello and Happy New Year to our broadcasting partner, Micah Ullman. Hi, Micah.
Hey, Micah.
Hey, good morning to you, Mark and Lisa. What a great start to the day's festivities. That was awesome. There's a lot more ahead as well. And I am sitting here with this awesome view of the parade route right over my shoulder here. Thanks to the Pasadena Elks Lodge and General Manager Frank Sosa and this year's National President of the Elks, Robert L. Dutzman. KTLA has reserved this spot every year along Colorado Boulevard for you. Since 1947, can you believe it? We are excited to bring you another spectacular parade on this first morning of 2020. Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you, Micah.
Happy New Year, Micah. We always love working with you. And, you know, we're lucky, the three of us, because we get to see the floats before they hit the parade. We get to see them when they're being made. And I can just tell you, you will not be disappointed. Oh, look, we have the police escort right here.
I'll tell you, by the way, great seats here, but there's also great seats down there. Helpful Honda guys performing their first random act of helpfulness in 2020 by upgrading a family from the curb to the grandstand. There they are, wrapped in their Honda Snuggies. That's Mom Mary Berdogas, along with Samantha and Alex, her children, and Grandma Laura Drummond, who's Grandma.
And keeping with the Honda theme, this year's pace car is the first ever 2020 Honda CR-V Hybrid with sport mode and all-wheel drive standard on all trims. It's available this March.
Beautiful.
And as we say hello to the pace car, we are going to set the pace for you throughout this parade this morning. Lisa Gibbons, Mark Steinis with you. There are millions of people watching us worldwide as we say hello to 2020. Allie did such a great job in that opening number. Look at her getting pictures of the fans. That is an overwhelming view when you come across what they call that camera corner, Mark.
Yes, well, you've had a chance to ride on this in this parade. So what was that experience like for you?
It takes your breath away.
Does it?
Watching it, riding in it, watching at home. You know, there are about between 750 and 1 million people on the streets that she is able to really connect with. And then we're in like 147 countries, I believe.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. A lot of people, about 1 million down that Colorado Boulevard.
And, you know, we have a beautiful day here. As you can see, the sun is shining. Lovely weather here in Pasadena, California, as we take that shot. That's the corner that we're talking about. The Boy Scouts there have the banner. They get chosen every year. Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts are carrying those banners down the 5.5 miles of parade route.
And, you know, we talked a little bit about the weather, and behind us, the beautiful mountains are still dimpled with a little bit of snow that we had earlier this week, but the weather today is going to be spectacular. It's exactly what they had, the Valley Hunt Club had in mind 131 years ago.
Right.
Is to show off this beautiful scene.
We are so happy to have you with us as we say hello and thank you to Honda, who is kicking off this year's Rose Parade, presenting our theme and reminding us of the limitless potential inside each of us, especially our kids. They call their float Our Hope for the Future. It features all kinds of kids and all kinds of dreams.
Boy, does it ever. This young doctor's lab coat covered in macaroon coconut. Reaching for the stars, the astronaut's hair crafted from buffalo grass. And the artist's shoes that you'll see there are fashioned from cranberry seed. They got a hats off to the animators of this float. Included are spinning stars. There's jetpacks propelling smoke and an animated LED tri-screen. They're really all technical delights for us to watch as this Honda float goes down Colorado Boulevard. There they go, and here they come. It's always an honor to welcome this group. This is the United States Marine Corps Mounted Color Guard, led by their Marshal Esteban Jaurigui. Members of this group are active Marines from Barstow, California, who volunteered for the duty. They are the only unit in the parade today that you will see carrying the American flag. and they are riding what were at one time wild Palomino Mustangs that were adopted from the Bureau of Land Management's Adopt a Horse program. We salute these guys, these men, as they present the colors. They are the few, they are the proud, they are the U.S. Marine Corps Mounted Color Guard.
And this is a good time for us, Mark, to salute our servicemen and women overseas who are sharing this day with us, watching the Rose Parade on AFM, the Armed Forces Network. We certainly want to wish all of you the best in the coming year. Stay safe, and thank you for your service.
And following the Mounted Color Guard is the United States Marine Corps West Coast Composite Band, comprised of musicians from the 1st Marine Division Band, the 3rd Marine Aircraft Wing Band, and the Marine San Diego Band. They join together only once a year to perform, and that is, you guessed it, for the Rose Parade. The United States Marine Corps West Coast Composite Band, thank you for your service. The bands here today, by the way, absolutely incredible, all of them. If you want to hear them with no commentary, march on over to our Facebook live feed at facebook.com/KTLA5. That's just music.
Here's a question for you. How do you build a float when you're separated by 230 miles? The students from both Cal Poly Pomona and Cal Poly San Luis Obispo campuses have that answer for us. It is called aquatic aspiration, and that is the float you see there. The winner of the Director Trophy from Outstanding Artistic Design and use of floral and non-floral materials. A submarine made of red lentils and cushion mums stands 30 feet tall as it searches for treasure. A thriving underwater home is discovered amongst a sunken ship. The octopus, designed from cranberries and purple cornflowers, waves its arms with the ocean currents. Beautiful.
Congrats to them as we say hello to the Arabian Horse Association. Proud to highlight the importance and versatility of these stunning beauties and pay tribute today to the Warrior Horse for Warrior Kids program, started by an amazing young man by the name of Ryan Melendez, who is walking with the parade today. I was so honored to get to know Ryan and learn about his story. There he is. When he was 17, Ryan was diagnosed with leukemia, and he is certain it was his Arabian horse who helped pull him through it. So, Mark, when he got into remission, he decided that he was going to start this program to help other kids battling cancer. And that's how it was born. We also have, that's Dylan. He's about 12 years old now. Dylan was just now matched with his warrior horse, who's Tuffy, and the two of them are very proud to take to the parade route today. You know, this program is all over the country. It's warriorhorses.org. I just can't say enough about that intangible thing of when a horse instinctively knows that a child needs something from them, and they get to see it with the Arabian Horse Association all the time.
Well, such a strong connection. A human and animal connection.
Yeah, and these Arabians, look how beautiful. They're such good natured. They're so smart.
They are beautiful, as is this float making its way onto Colorado Boulevard, 2020, marking the 400th anniversary of the Mayflower's arrival. And there's no one prouder to remind us of this than the General Society of Mayflower Descendants, and we congratulate them on the Americana Trophy. They are winners for most outstanding depiction of national treasures and traditions. With their entry, the Voyage of Hope 1620, we are brought back to that historic journey that carried 102 brave men, women, and children across an ocean for religious freedom and a better way of life. Dark brown Niger seed and sweet rice give the ship its fine details, and the sails that appear aged and weathered from rolled oats, ground nutmeg, and cinnamon. And you have lettuce seed and black poppy giving Plymouth Rock its granite-like look. Dressed in authentic 17th century pilgrim attire, each individual riding the float is an actual descendant of a Mayflower passenger.
Heading down the boulevard now, you see them making that corner, which, by the way, is a very strategic move when you're in a large marching band like this. This is the largest competitive field band in Riverside and San Bernardino County. From Moreno Valley, you are watching the Rancho Verde Crimson Regiment. The band moment brought to you by our friends at Honda. know, I'll tell you, belief systems are so important, Lisa. Listen to this. At Rancho Verde, they believe this. All students deserve a chance to experience music and perform and compete at the very highest level. That is something we all can believe in.
And they sound great.
I do want to mention the band's color guard team does have one deaf student and one student who is hard of hearing. And despite all that, they learn to work by sight and are taught to count at tempo.
Love the close-ups for the parents at home and everyone who works so hard to get these bands to the parade.
And to get them to and from practice. I mean, you remember, all the parents have to drive those kids back and forth early on. It's such a commitment. It's such a family and community effort.
They typically choose the bands a couple of years in advance because it's expensive, and lots of these groups that you see did fundraisers and worked really hard to pull it together so they could put on their best for you today with that blue sky, those red and black uniforms. They are sharp.
We do have, by the way, later on in the parade to share with you many international bands that have made the trip. When you talk about expense, they have put together a lot of funds in order to come here to perform for you today on this first day of 2020.
Happy New Year, everyone, from sunny Pasadena. I'm Lisa Gibbons. Mark Steinis is sharing the anchor booth with us, and Mike Ullman has his great position very close to the action as we bring you the Rose Parade. The first day of 2020. Just sounds amazing, doesn't it?
It does, right?
Rising up from the ashes of California's wildfires is the city of Burbank's magnificent Phoenix. This took a trophy, the prize today for the Leishman Public Spirit Trophy for Most Outstanding Floral Presentation from a non-commercial participant. This is one of 6 self-built floats in the parade, and Burbank wishes to inspire hope, which is our theme, revitalization and renewal for the people of California.
Powerful and mighty, the Phoenix beak, constructed of dried mango. Her eyelashes are sculpted from sago palm, by the way, which comes straight from the float treasurer's backyard. The 5-foot-tall waterfall, a symbol of rebirth, and it spills into a pool of irises and blue belladonna delphiniums. The back of the float features the Phoenix's tail feathers with powerful fireballs lifting her 28 feet into the air. Thank you to Burbank and all the firefighters who continue to serve and protect us.
Here they come down the boulevard, our grand marshals for the Rose Parade. There are 3 of them. They represent 3 generations of Latina powerhouses. She's up and dancing Rita Moreno. They're waving her colors. She is joined by Olympic gymnast Lori Hernandez and actress Gina Torres. Hey, Rita. You know, she's at EGOT, Mark. She has won the Emmy, the Grammy, the Oscar, and the Tony. One of few to do that.
Well, Gina Torres, also known for her roles in Suits. There she is. She's also for her spin-off Pearson, in which she also served as executive producer, not an easy task, and the cult classic Firefly. And then you have, coming up, Olympic medalist Lori Hernandez. I have had a chance to interview this fireball. She is full of personality, energy, and positivity, winning the team gold at the 2016 Rio Summer Olympics and a silver medal on the balance beam. And she is aiming to be at the 2020 games in Tokyo, and hopefully she comes back just decorated.
Her grandsons, Justin and Cameron.
And I love the glasses. I love the glasses and the tiara. That's beautiful.
So Rita is a hero for so many of us. She was out decorating floats. She has been all in for this parade. So she has her grandsons, and Gina has her daughter, Delilah, and Lori has her sister, Jaleesa, with her. So this is a big moment for anyone, no matter how famous you are. There's nothing like the Rose Parade.
And it is rare to have more than one Grand Marshal. There have been a couple of people, a couple of events in the past. The first was back in 1910 when there were multiple people. Since then, 8 parades have had more than one Grand Marshal, including the famous ventriloquist Edgar Bergen and his dummy Charlie.
The Grand Marshals, not one, but three. Congratulations. The Rotary Rose Parade Float Committee, in association with Optimus, presents Hope Connects the World. And now taking flight is this world-traveling penguin with his palm bark helmet and flapping wings as he embarks on a journey of hope, strength, and service throughout the globe. And a congratulations to Rotary, winners of the Tournament Volunteer Trophy, most outstanding floral presentation of the Rose Parade theme among floats 35 feet and under in length. Look at that backdrop of a glorious blue sky and all that there is to see. This fella keeping warm with his scarf and world of flags made from a plethora of materials, including parsley flakes, orange lentils, green split peas, and black onion seeds showcased around him, representations of some of his destinations.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. In 2020, drive strong from start to finish all year long. Happy New Year from Goodyear. More driven. Here we are at the Rose Parade to tell you about more marching bands. They're a relatively new thing in Japan, but boy, do they ever own it. Adopting their own dance style is what's going on here. That's the trend for these bands. This is the Japan Honor Green Band, known for their pop and Latin-themed performances. These musicians are 14 to 26 years old. They practice every day, sometimes more than 4 hours a day. This is their life, and it shows. Look how much fun they're having sharing this New Year's Day with us.
Fun is the key word. Because you put in all that work, you want to have fun, and you want to have fun memories. By the way, when they're from all over Japan, and they did not have a chance to actually practice together. It's impossible until they met here in Anaheim right before Christmas, and from that moment on till right up till today, they practiced every single day together as a group for the first time. And it paid. The rowdy and lovable crew from Downey's Rose Float Association has transported us to the perfect spot in Japan with On the Wings of Hope. It is the Founder Trophy winner for Most Outstanding Float built and decorated by volunteers from a community or organization. Origami cranes of sweet white rice and cranberry seed take flight over a tranquil Japanese garden. The origami crane is also a symbol of hope and healing, and it's believed that if one folded 1,000 cranes, their wish would come true. I'm going to have to try that.
Yeah.
The cherry blossoms are done in Moricora orchids, and Miss Downey Vianney Compa is riding along with her royal court.
They're all lovely, beautiful smiles for a beautiful day.
Yeah. This is the 67th year participating in the Rose Parade. Very colorful float. You know,
I hope you can hear some of the crowds who are going crazy for all of these entries, including this one, offering a taste of sport, skill, passion, and teamwork. This is the Blue Shadows Mounted Drill Team. Now, what makes this organization so special is you don't need to own your own horse to become a member, and there's no riding experience required. So they may even let me in this one. Modeled after the U.S. Cavalry, troop members are taught riding techniques, and they earn levels of leadership through ranks, which are displayed on the brass on their helmets, you can see there. And love today going out to all of them, but to Lieutenant Colonel Janet Johnstone, who is riding in honor of her dad, who is living with Alzheimer's. We're sending them strength for that very difficult journey.
And it's so important, as you said, living with Alzheimer's.
Yes, rather than dying from.
Yeah. That can matter so much and make such a big difference on how we frame things up. We're going to frame up this next one from the good folks at Dig Alert. They bring us Power of Safety First. This is a humorous but very earnest reminder that digging anywhere without checking to see if it is safe can get you into a whole lot of trouble. And unfortunately, this construction crew is off to a terrible, awful start, causing all sorts of chaos digging the new community pool. Now, the back hole, made of yellow straw flower and black onion seed, is swinging wildly out of control. The wide-eyed animals, crafted from safflower and spice and pampas grass, can't believe their eyes as they see CO2 spurts coming from broken pipes. Goodness. hopefully we're all safe and sound up here. The Underground Service Alert team does remind us, whether you're a DIYer or professionals, contact 811 before you dig. It is a free public service.
Happy 2020, everyone. Thank you so much to the Goodyear Blimp for these beautiful shots. We are right underneath that banner as we have the honor and the joy of announcing and sharing all the events in today's parade for you. Taking you back to the boulevard, you'll see there's another band marching its way and showing its colors to, gosh, the almost million people that are gathered here in Pasadena from the plains of Oklahoma. It's the pride of Owasso. They may be 278 members strong, but they play like their motto, which is one mind, one mission, one heart. Let's take a listen thanks to our friends at Spectrum Mobile. This is their 5th year marching in the Rose Parade, so welcome back, Owasso. Sound and look fantastic.
I think back to my family in the Midwest, and when we see these pictures of some of these people marching in the band and they have sleeveless tops on and whatnot, and how cold it is back home and back east. It is just a glorious, beautiful day here in Pasadena. It's exactly, you couldn't order a better day for this. By the way, the Pride of Owasso started back in the 70s. Today, they're known for producing more musicians who go on and play for the beloved Oklahoma All-State Band than any other school in that state.
That's the way to do it. Yes.
That's a parade stopper, literally.
It sure is.
You know, the massive effort and energy it must take to get a group that large together, coordinate the travel, coordinate the hotel accommodations.
And they've been lined up for hours.
And yes.
The horses have been lined up, so we're ready for you.
Yes. All right, Chipotle is kicking off the new year by supporting young farmers across the country who are committed to growing real and responsibly raised food. And for that, they are the winners of the Grand Marshal Trophy for most outstanding creative concept and float design. Cultivating the Future of Farming is the name of this one. It's a scene where playful pigs with spitting noses are covered in dehydrated and crushed sweet potato. And by the way, Lisa, that's for the first time in this parade that they've ever used crushed sweet potato.
Well, it's working out.
It is working well. Good. Nodding cows of sweet white rice and chive seeds are free to graze, and the coconut flake-covered chickens peck from roam free range. The farmer is on the move, tending to all 51 ingredients on Chipotle's menu. I think we could actually eat this float if we wanted to. The chain, by the way, is raising money on this New Year's Day for the National Young Farmers Coalition. For every single post on their social media using the hashtag farmers, Chipotle is going to donate $1.
On the heels of the farmers of Chipotle comes from Fort Hood, Texas, the 1st Cavalry Division Horse Cavalry Detachment led by Captain Jenny Nosala. This active duty unit from the U.S. Army is keeping the spirit and traditions of the 1800s cavalry alive. Their main mission is to support the U.S. Army in its public relations efforts. They attend celebrations, military ceremonies, recruiting events, and parades, of course. Their team, consisting of quarter horses, matched in size and color, Belgian draft mules, and, of course, man's best friend this year, a blue heeler.
Take a look at this award-winning float. This one for the Extraordinaire Trophy, Most Extraordinary Float. It's a patriotic 75-foot-long float celebrating the 75th anniversary of America's victory in World War II. The Chinese American Heritage Foundation salutes all American heroes of that war, whether it be from the front lines or the home front. That beautiful hexagon right there features 6 giant floral graphs, depicts some iconic moments in America's history. The sepia images are designed in crushed walnut shell, cinnamon, ginger, red millet, and nigella seeds. Mark and I got to see some of the proud veterans that were decorating this float, and it is a beauty.
Yeah, it is beautiful. I love that that Peacock pilot, or that fighter. It's gorgeous.
Okay, you will love, love, love these ladies. Here are the Elsinore Peep Guard from Hornbæk, Denmark, also known as the Elsinore Girls Marching Band. This all-female ensemble was formed 63 years ago as a girls' military guard for a dance school. You could start in this band when you're 9 years old, and you can go all the way up to 21, but if you get married, you're out of the band.
That's it. You're gone.
Making their 70th appearance in the Rose Parade, this is the Lutheran Laymen's League. Their entry, anchored in Jesus, takes us underwater to a breathtaking floral fantasy. Let's start with details about that cross. Redwood bark, coffee, and shiny gray silver leaf give the cross and the anchor their lifelike colors. And the starfish, it's crafted from raisins, lemon and lime halves, look at that, Brussels sprout halves, and half-inch pearl onions. Very, very creative and beautiful. Also a variety of protea in this tropical setting, and protea, the oldest flower on Earth, dating back 300 million years.
Well, it would not be a Rose Parade, Lisa, without Pasadena City College Herald trumpets. This elite unit is made up of 9 trumpeters and 1 snare drum, and they are selected from both the PCC trumpeters and more than 80 auditioning high school musicians from Southern California. Take a listen.
As always, they introduce our 102nd Rose Queen, coming right behind the trumpeters. She is Camille Kennedy and her royal court. The princesses include Reese Rosenthal Saporito, Emily Risha, Rukan Saif, Cole Fox, Michael Williams, and Mia Thorson. They are absolutely impressive young women. They have spent the last few months in service. They've gone to, over 100 community events. They are ambassadors for goodwill, and they certainly spread the power of hope with their good work and smiles.
And boy, do they have a busy schedule as well.
Don't they?
By the way, we met with them yesterday, and Camille told me she has a lot of family in Texas she wanted me to say hello to. So hello to everybody in Texas on behalf of the Queen and her court.
The crowns, by the way, are new this year for the court, for anybody that's keeping note, and I believe there's several $100,000 worth of pearls and jewels on those crowns, and they wear them well. And they do have escorts.
They do have escorts.
With them, security escorts.
All right, there is not another marching band who can say they've been marching in the Rose Parade since 1930. But the Pasadena City College Tournament of Roses Honor Band has that distinction. What's unique about this City College Band is that it is made up of college's Lancer Band members, and the college's Lancer Band members and a select group of Southern California high school students. Those students auditioned for the part. Listen in.
If you want to hear today's bands, this or any of them, you can head over to our Facebook page for our band cam. No commentary, just the great music that they are so happy to bring you.
It's always special to find the little tiny trinkets of information in these large groups. And this year, there's a set of twins from Chino High School and a set of triplets from Norco High School that are playing in the band. And all 5 of them are brass players. The 91st consecutive appearance in the Rose Parade. They need to be proud of that for sure.
And look, they've got the wave. Everybody talks about the wave.
Is that a Small World I'm hearing?
They were playing It's a Small World. I think later on the route they'll be playing Everything's Coming Up Roses. Formations are perfect. I love when they turn to that camera side.
And keep walking straight.
Oh, they're so accomplished.
Formation.
This next float is a highly anticipated one. I am not surprised to hear they took home the theme trophy for most outstanding presentation of the Rose Parade theme. Congratulations. This commemorates the 100th year celebration of the 19th Amendment, giving women the right to vote. They call it Years of Hope, Years of Courage. Honestly, this one gives me chill bumps as we honor the women's suffragette movement. That Statue of Liberty you see there covered in eucalyptus leaf. Look at that detail. Purple, gold, and white flowers represent the colors of the suffrage era. The red, white, and blue banner is designed from cranberry seed, button mums, and blue status, which is used almost every time you see blue. And then all of those people you see riding along the float are descendants of the heroes who fought for women's rights and for civil rights. Their message is really, upon their shoulders we won the vote, and upon our shoulders we will protect it. Great reminder for all of us as we look at the responsibility and the power to vote.
Such an important time to recognize this. That passage, by the way, of the 19th Amendment came down to a single vote. Did you know that? It came
Yes.
down, and the interesting story behind that, it was Tennessee State Representative Harry T. Byrne had planned to vote nay for this, but ultimately decided to vote A because he found a letter from his mother that was put in his pocket that told him to be a good boy and vote yes on this, and it made all the difference in the world.
Power of moms.
Powers of moms.
And here's the mayor of Pasadena, Terry Tornick, riding with his wife, Maria, their family and friends. They're being pulled by an 8-horse hitch of, get this, rare black and white Clydesdales. The carriage is a handcrafted replica of an 1890 Abbott Downing hotel coach. Beautiful horses.
And no team is complete without some great music to back them up.
But here we are, ready, set, duck. It's the University of Oregon Ducks football team. Yeah, the Ducks, 8th time playing in the Rose Bowl. The 2nd time they'll be playing Wisconsin, actually. They defeated Wisconsin back in 2012. It was a close game, however. It was 45-38, a lot of scoring. Coach Mario Cristobal has the highest-ranking team on the West Coast. Pac-12 champions, ranked 6th in the nation with an 11-win season. And get this, their starting quarterback, Justin Herbert, is known as an academic Heisman winner, taking home the William V. Campbell Trophy for Best Football Scholar Athlete in the nation. And another point of pride for them is their sophomore offensive lineman, Penei Sewell, who finished in the top 10 for the Heisman. Why that's interesting is because that's a rarity for a lineman.
And the coach's mother-in-law, was actually the Rose Queen herself back in 1969.
Is that right? Wow.
Here is the band. Say hello to the University of Oregon Marching Band. They are under the direction of Dr. Eric Wilshire. Those uniforms, very distinctive. They are designed by Nike, whose headquarters are in Beaverton, Oregon. That's about 100 miles north of this school.
And this afternoon, that's where it's all going to happen. The Ducks will face off against the Wisconsin Badgers in the granddaddy of them all. It happens right there in the Rose Bowl for the 106th version of that game. It's going to be a good one. Cannot wait. It'll be so exciting.
A lot of fans do both.
I'm such a big football nerd. I just love watching college football.
I wouldn't say you're a nerd.
I just love it. Love it, love it. Listen to them all day.
Yeah, they're so proud.
Well, here it is, a beautifully manicured grass path leading our way to Hope for the Homeless, the Isabella Coleman Trophy Award winner for most outstanding presentation of color and color harmony through floral design. The good folks at AIDS Healthcare Foundation envisioned a community filled with renovated homes for a brighter tomorrow. These whimsical cottages that you see are crafted in parsley flakes and cobra leaves, the roofs adorned in dehydrated red bell pepper and carrot, azalea brushes arranged from alstroemeria blossoms, and yuccas crafted from spike plants with orchid florets, and pave the path toward home. More than 500,000 people in the United States are homeless, and even more struggle to make ends meet, I should say. The AIDS Healthcare Foundation is dedicated to raising awareness for this global crisis. We thank you for all of your work.
Right there at the front of the float, in the scarf that looks like a piano, is Herbert Butler.
There he is.
Hi.
Oh.
We loved meeting him. He has been homeless on and off for 20 years until he was given a home by the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. Sitting next to him is his caseworker, Nicole, and she found out that he used to play piano, so now he's playing again. He's playing at the King Edward Hotel, and he's so proud to be here, Mark. Look at that.
I talked with him afterwards when we were in the float barn. He used to be a taxi driver, and he would come here, get permission from the city of Los Angeles to come here to Pasadena to pick up Rose Parade patrons and drive them back home.
And there he is now.
He's now
I just love that. The oldest marching band from Mexico was established in 1960, and here they are for you now. The Agilu Chos Marching Band, showcasing pride and passion for Mexican folk music. Let's take a listen thanks to your helpful SoCal Honda dealers. These black, white, and gold uniforms, by the way, are inspired by the Mexican charro costume, and they are worn only for international performances. Juan Carlos Cazito Paleta is their director. They are strong. They have so much passion for this music, and all these bands, so much pride, which you can hear it in their music with every note they play, the color guards. Look at that. This is a big moment.
It's a big moment, and it's a long moment because it's a 5.5-mile parade route. So they have to keep marching and playing.
And smiling
And
for everyone for,
smiling.
what, like 2.5 hours?
Yes, yes.
Say hello to Westcom Credit Union. They are celebrating 85 years in business with Better Together. Hope creates community. Wonderful message. This today, a story about everyone pitching in to help a young family fix up their new tree home. Westcom team members arrive in a fully restored 1934 Westcom vintage truck, delivering a housewarming gift. The California magnolia tree is constructed from hazelnuts and pistachio shells. A team of animals hard at work, except for the raccoon up in the branches, doing, well, what raccoons do, taking selfies to capture the moment. Building community is the story of Westcom's start. The tradition of helping one another continues today.
Thank you, Mike. And let's make way for the horsewomen of Temecula wine country. There they are. I had a lot of fun spending time in Temecula. Not only is it a premier wine destination, but it is also one of those places that still has horse crossings, crosswalks rather, and hitching posts all dotted around town. These cowgirls you're seeing right now range in age from 15 to 90 years of age and include award-winning color guard. Their mission, by the way, is to keep local riding trails safe. They do that in style, wearing their vintage embroidered shirts and traditional red scarves that they, rag scarves that they call, get this, Lisa, Cowgirl Goes to Church. Big thank you to Rosie and Libby and Craig for being so hospitable.
Trader Joe's always has a great float, and this one got them a great award, the Crown City Innovator Trophy for Most Outstanding Use of Imagination, Innovation, and Technology. You'll see their fearless flyer there's gotten himself into a real pickle. Fortunately, it's a pickle barrel rolling into space. Their entry this year is called It Takes a Flight of Fancy, and it features the fearless flyer sporting his notorious mustache, which is done in black hyacinth root, and palm bark for his helmet as he shoots for the banana moon. His pickle machine is created from kumquat halves and coffee. It always amazes me. Every inch of these floats has to be covered in organic, natural materials. It takes hundreds of hours from so many volunteers. And on the float there, Trader Joe's dedicates it every year to their crew members. You see those parachutes there. They are human-powered as they go down this parade, so I hope they've got their energy. And congratulations on the award, Trader Joe's.
Look at that. That is ridiculously, I mean, it's phenomenal. Look at the face, the detail in that. We just have to go see these afterwards now because we saw them being built. Now we have to see them. All right, it's the very first year in the Rose Parade, and they are buzzing with pride all the way from, I'm assuming, a very freezing cold upstate New York. Here are the Baldwinsville Marching Bees, 140 members strong. These community players bring a big and enthusiastic sound to this year's parade. Welcome. Cold back home, but they've got a lot of sun here in Pasadena. The band director, Casey Vanderstow, has 3 of his own children performing in the band with him. His 18-year-old daughter, Vivian, is a senior drum major. His 16-year-old, Candace, is a color guard, and his 14-year-old son, Xavier, plays in the drum line. So it's kind of a family vacation for them as they came out as well.
A working vacation.
A working vacation, yes.
Their first year in the Rose Parade. Welcome. On this day of New Year's resolutions, Northwestern Mutual has some advice to share, and that is spend your life living. They win the trophy for fantasy, most outstanding display of fantasy and imagination, and I'd say they've got it going on. The llama family there is decorated in Diletta creamed carnations, which is, by the way, a new variety, so you're seeing it for the first time here. Red ilex berries with marigold petals. And they are taking that advice to spend your life living. They're shooting the rapids in a tropical paradise. They bounce and spin and bob in their inflatable floaties made from button palms and seaweed. And I look at the bubbles. This is just it is so whimsical.
You could almost hear them say, wee.
I love that they got that fantasy trophy. And it is a nice reminder, isn't it? As we share New Year's Day together, turn dreaming into living, because tomorrow's important, but life is happening now.
Well, somebody whose life's turned into a dream come true are these right here. As tradition has it, the Rose Bowl game will be happening later today, and here are this year's Hall of Fame inductees. Matt Leinart, one of the most celebrated quarterbacks of the last 20 years of college football. 2 Rose Bowls and a Heisman Trophy back in 2004. There's Matt. Cornelius Green played in 4 Rose Bowl games for Ohio State from 73 to 76, and Ohio State's first African-American quarterback named MVP in 1974. Jackie Robinson led the University of Washington to victory against the Iowa Hawkeyes back in 1982. In that game, he was the first freshman to be named an MVP in the Rose Bowl, racking up 142 yards on 20 carries and scoring a pair of touchdowns. And then, inducted posthumously, Eddie Casey, the halfback and defensive back who played for Harvard, won the MVP in 1920.
And on the heels of greatness comes the University of Wisconsin Badgers. This will be the 10th Rose Bowl appearance for the Badgers, but this year they're hoping to turn the tables on this Badger-Duck matchup, having lost to the Ducks 45-38 in 2012. Coach Paul Chryst leads his Big Ten Western Division champs into the granddaddy of them all. 3 key players to watch for: Jonathan Taylor, arguably the best running back in college football. He broke records by gaining 6,000 yards over 3 seasons. All-American offensive lineman Tyler Biadasz, one of the best in the nation, recently won the Remington Trophy. And keep an eye out for linebacker Zach Bond, who led the Badgers with 12.5 sacks and 71 total tackles. Good luck. And as they say, on Wisconsin.
All right, Micah, taking their moment in the spotlight now is the University of Wisconsin Marching Band. While the band turns 135 years old this year, this football season marks their director's first, so we'd like to say welcome to the Rose Parade, Corey Pompey. Oh, they look great. We want you to have a listen now, thanks to our friends at Disney's Frozen, the hit Broadway musical. Their musicians and their athletes to keep that up going.
Yes.
Right? These guys are used to playing to sellout crowds, but they are known for keeping nearly 50,000 fans in their seats after the game for their famous fifth quarter performance.
I can speak to that. I attended a game at Camp Randall Stadium, the 80+ thousand people there. Not only do they keep them in their seats after the game, they get them out of their seats between the third and fourth quarter. If anybody has ever seen a Badger game, they know this whole story about the song Jump Around by House of Pain from 1989. The energy that Wisconsin Badgers football fans bring to the game is just unbelievable. And you can see this band carries that same energy forward. It is, I can tell you, the Rose Bowl game today is going to be a clash between two very good teams and two remarkable schools with a lot of team and school spirit and pride.
And fans really showing up and being active participants in this party.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
It's just the music over at our band camp. Don't forget, just go to our Facebook page. You can appreciate all of this.
Well, if you're looking to get your fill of art and literature while enjoying acres of themed gardens, then this float is here to remind you of where you need to be. The Huntington Library. Also the winner of the Golden State Trophy for most outstanding depiction of life in California. This year marks the institution's 100th year anniversary. And the title of this float is Cultivating Curiosity. It's just a sneak preview of some of their treasures.
Let me give you some detail, if I may. Eucalyptus leaves and lettuce seed make up the roof of the Chinese Garden Temple, which is a very familiar sight there at the Huntington. That larger-than-life manuscript is Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, another Huntington trophy. This one, isn't that beautiful? It's done in white powdered rice and gray poppy seed. They brought in a fine detail artist to help execute this, and that's one of the most beloved portraits at the Huntington. It's Breakfast in Bed by American Impressionist Mary Cassatt, the original from 1897 rather. That is a fluorograph. It's framed in dark brown coffee. So if you're a lover of the arts, of botanicals or books, and you've never been to the Huntington, you are just missing out on one of Southern California's greatest hidden gems. It's spectacular.
Yeah, if you get a chance to see at the back of this, there's what's known as the rare and stinky corpse flower, which blooms, and they've had some smoke coming out of it to give the illusion that there's some odor coming out. But however, there are 9 blooms that have come out in the Huntington, and they've shared the flower seeds and the pollen with botanical gardens all across the country. Let's see if we'll see any of that green smoke coming out. But
we just know them as the stinky flower.
Yeah, the stinky flower. It's the stinky flower. Yes.
Beautiful float.
I love that corner shot.
This corner shot is awe-inspiring, and it gives you a real indication of the formation and the detail and how these bands have really had to practice to make this presentation for you today. And I say, pura vida, this is the Banda Municipal de Zarcero from Costa Rica.
Very good.
The band, we'll see. The band got their start in 2008. The idea from this band was simply to provide all the people of Zarcero an opportunity to develop their artistic skills, and it was really done in hopes of driving them away from drugs. So today, students at the music school are able to participate in both the symphony orchestra and the marching band. And we hear a lot about that, how important these activities are for kids in terms of helping them find purpose in life and direction in life and not being distracted by things that they shouldn't be doing.
Exactly. And as you saw that corner shot as they come around the corner, you can't help but think the people on the inside of that turn take one step, while the ones on the outside of that turn need to make up for that by taking about 8. So here they come around that corner, a large group indeed.
The colors you're seeing from them today, by the way, stand for strength, peace, and elegance. Welcome to Pasadena, Banda Municipal de Zarcero. These band members have to travel, as we said, a long way to get together to practice. So the local businesses in Zarcero, though, have been booming. And the president of Costa Rica, Mark, has even praised the band. He said, look, you've helped to boost the economy. of this city. It's like 4,300 people, and they're all into you.
Well, there seems to be almost 4,300 band members. It's a large band, actually. Actually, somewhere around 250 or 60 or so involved in this. Some are playing instruments, others are part of the color. But regardless, they have definitely added something to the community, whether that boils down to an economic boost or just the spirit. It all comes out positive in the end. That there's going to be several international bands performing. This is one of those, and it's really nice, I think, for as families sit back and enjoy this, to see the customs and the traditions of others around the world who have come here to share their beliefs and their customs with us.
Yeah, and the band communities are very close. They love to get together. They have band fest before this, and they really do represent the pride of their communities. Look at the smiles.
Yes. We should say so. We are grateful for all of our partnerships with the Pasadena Tournament of Roses. You can show your love, and we invite you to do so for the 935 volunteers on Instagram using the hashtag Rose Parade. All right, up next, the winner of the Mayor Trophy for Most Outstanding Float from a Participating City. This is our second tribute to the passing of the 19th Amendment, Victory at Last. This is one of those self-built floats from South Pasadena. It brings us the highlights, a scroll and pen of sycamore leaves to sign that right to vote. The purple hat is fashioned from blueberry roses, button ribbons, and the jewelry signify the times of the course, and the ballot box of flax leaves for all those hopeful votes that were cast. South Pasadena shines a light on women's accomplishments and peaceful struggle for women's equality and justice.
It's a very big year for powerful women, from our opening performance to our floats commemorating the 19th Amendment to this woman who is our president. Following that float, it's appropriate that this year's president, Laura Farber, there. Hey, Laura, we love her. She is the 131st Rose Parade president. As we said at the top, the first Latina in our history and only the third female. You often see her wearing red. That's a streak power color. It's a celebration color. She's originally from Argentina, and hers was the choice of the theme, the power of hope. She says it was inspired by her own experiences as an immigrant. So there in the car you see her husband, Tomas Lopez, and their two children. Say hello to Christopher and Jessica, and also her mom and dad. This is lovely. That's a beautiful 1911 Rolls Royce. Thanks, Laura.
This next band is comprised of students from 3 different high schools to form one cohesive unit, and they are local from Monterey Park, San Gabriel, and Alhambra, California. Here's the Alhambra Unified School District Marching Band. This band moment is thanks to our friends at Carl's Jr. This music group is open to all levels and abilities, and there are no prerequisites, something I love about this band. A special year for Alhambra, as you saw our Rose Parade's president, Laura Farber, who is an alumna of the Alhambra Unified School District.
Well, here comes a happy locomotive chugging down along Colorado Boulevard, inspired by Gabriel Gonzalez, who is a 4th grader at Anieta Montessori in Alhambra. The title is Hope Keeps Us Going, and it was the winning design by this young artist who submitted his float design in the contest that was held by the city amongst all elementary school students. Now, the train's nose is made of cranberries, orange lentils, kidney beans, green Commodore ferns, and cocoa sticks with powdered rice, which can be seen all around his smile. Another lovely float from the city of Alhambra, for this is its 92nd entry into the Rose Parade. When Gabriel submitted his design, his quote was, "The power of hope makes you motivated to overcome obstacles in life. Like a train, the power of hope keeps us going."
And these colorful and authentic equestrians you see now are from Pasadena's neighboring city of Altadena. the Los Hermanos Bañuelos Charro team. These gentlemen echo the traditions of Mexican horsemen. A charro participates in the charreria. That's the national sport of Mexico, which involves horse riding, roping, and cattle handling. These brothers perform rope and horse tricks, from dancing and prancing to spinning lassos. And most of the riders that you see here today have inherited their love of the sport from multiple generations before them. They're riding American quarter horses, Andalusians, Frisians, and Aztecas. Beautiful custom-made suits with embroidery and silver decorations give them that regal Mexican flair. How they do that, I will never know.
I will tell you, it's remarkable to see how those horses, how well behaved and trained they are. Spectacular. All right, so we are halfway through this parade.
And at our halftime, we are doing something this year that we've never done before. Halftime.
Yeah, what's halftime?
That sports analogy,
yeah,
didn't
right?
you? We're having a performance for you.
Yeah. We got a feeling you're going to recognize somebody or a few people from this performance. Take a look.
Enjoy.
Disney's hit musical Frozen is melting hearts on Broadway and across the country in a spectacular production that's pure Broadway joy. Here to perform for the first time in forever is the North American tour cast of Frozen.
It's Coronation Day! The window is open, so's that door. I didn't know they did that anymore. And there's two nice ladies helping me get dressed. Thank you, thanks. For years I've roamed these empty halls. Why have a ballroom with no balls? Coronation Day is just the best. There'll be actual real-life people. Hi, it'll be totally strange. I love your hat. Wow, am I so ready for this change? For the first time in forever, there'll be music, there'll be light. For the first time in forever, I'll be dancing through the night. Don't know if I'm elated or gassy, woo, but I'm somewhere in that zone. 'Cause for the first time in forever, I won't be alone. Woo! Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, put on a show. Make one wrong move and everyone will know. But it's only for today. It's only for today. It's agony to wait. Tell the guards to open up the gate. For the first time in forever, the gates are open wide. I know it all ends tomorrow, so it has to be today. 'Cause for the first time in forever, for the first time in forever, nothing's in my way.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
That is so fantastic. I can imagine your daughter is probably freaking out right now.
My 2.5-year-old. Let me tell you, that is not the last time I will see that clip of video played over and over and over again in my house. Micah, that was spectacular.
Hey, how is that for a halftime show? And a reminder, you can catch Frozen, the hit Broadway musical, at the famed Hollywood Pantages Theater in Los Angeles through February 2nd. Mark, I think I know where I'm going to find you.
I say we do this every year. That's a great tradition
Yes.
to start. Disney has got it going on.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Parker Rose is going bananas at home right now.
Hi, Parker.
I love you, honey. Okay, let's keep going. The Bob Hope Humor Trophy Award winner for most whimsical and amusing float is here. The La Cañada Flint Ridge Dodo Bird Flight School is a wonderful representation of this group. By the way, if you look at this, it's not just one. Yeah, there are 2 floats. That little satellite float that's out front, this is one of the 6 floats that are classified as self-built. So they've actually built 2, and they've done it by themselves. Earth's flightless birds have banded together for a great blimp adventure commanded by the dodo bird.
So cute. There's a lot going on here. The birds are ready to attempt the impossible with rotating rock bands, flapping wings, and a swaying penguin chorus. The bird's feet are made from pine cone pieces and poppy seed. Yellow split pea and paprika accents give their beaks a very realistic look. It's just amazing to me, these materials, how they come to life here. The goal for La Cañada Flint Ridge is always animated, humorous, whimsical. Once again, they hit the mark this year. Congratulations on the Bob Hope Trophy.
You know, they've won 30 awards. They've been in this parade 42 times, and they have won 30 awards, and they're self-built.
Okay, look, more for Parker Rose and every other person that loves Disney. Here's the Frozen sleigh with the cast, at least the human characters in the cast.
Yeah.
You know, they are so universally loved, and this is what Disney does. They take their movies, they turn them into Broadway musicals like Frozen is now. They've done this 9 other times. From Tarzan and Mary Poppins, The Little Mermaid, it's just spectacular. And how for Frozen, they actually create ice in the theater, Mark.
All I'm thinking right now is Elsa and Anna are in Parker's crib every night. She will not go to sleep unless she has her little dolls in there. But yes, they do. They do that very well. I don't know if you mentioned the Mary Poppins and Tarzan and Little Mermaid, but all of them have gone on to become big stage performances. All right, so if you were here in Pasadena on New Year's Day morning 131 years ago, well, you would be pretty old right now. But you would also have seen our next entry coming down the boulevard, or a version of that. In 1890, the Valley Hunt Club organized a tournament for Pasadena neighbors and local businesses, and they wanted to show off their city. So people would decorate their horse-drawn carriages with fresh flowers, mostly from their own gardens, on the way to the tournament in sort of a parade-like fashion. And from there, this whole idea of the Rose Parade was born. And the rest, as they say, is history.
And back then, there were like, you know, maybe a couple thousand people watching. Today, we have about 37 million people watching us all over the world from their idea just to say, hey, look, it's cool here. It's beautiful. In California, we want to celebrate our oranges and our flowers, and that's how it started. They charged 25 cents ultimately to get in.
My 2 favorite horse breeds are the Frisians that you see there and the Clydesdale. But, you know, we were going to mention this earlier about the queens. Back then, at the very beginning, the queen had to actually decorate her own horse carriage.
And make her own dress.
And do her own dress as well, right.
Okay, look at this float. You'll see, which is something you don't usually see, which is a truck towing it behind. This is the UPS float. They had some mechanical issues this morning, so they are under tow for the duration of the parade. But guess what? They win the sweepstakes trophy.
Wow.
So congratulations for most beautiful entry, encompassing float design, floral presentation, and entertainment. So everyone's got a story, right? It's what makes us unique. And the UPS store's entry is called Stories Change Our World. It reminds us that the power of literacy helps us imagine a brighter future. The story of these golden tamarins is brought to life with layers of marigold petals, and stems of Macara and James Story orchids give these monkeys that rich golden coloring. You've got black seaweed for the toucans with that shiny plumage. Oh, they're so colorful, so beautiful. This is in a Brazilian jungle that's made of Australian wildflower called Banksia and the exotic Shikong heliconia. I would like for you to call me that in the future.
Sure.
And I'm here with Shikong heliconia.
Hey, say hello to 3 honored guests that are chosen by the Tournament of Roses president. They're here today representing the strength and success of the Latino community. Jaime Jarin is best known as the Spanish voice of the Dodgers. The Ecuadorian-born announcer has been calling Dodger games for more than 60 years. Sonia Manzano is known as an actress, screenwriter, author, speaker, and singer-songwriter, but is best known for playing Maria on Sesame Street. Tell me you don't recognize that face. And of course, Dr. Ellen Ochoa's list of achievements is impressive. First Hispanic female astronaut, first Hispanic woman to direct the Johnson Space Center, and she was inducted into the Astronaut Hall of Fame.
So by planting seeds of hope, the Sikh American Float Association you see there strives to raise awareness about diversity so all children can grow, thrive, and flourish. The Great Peacemaker by Gainaya Singh's beard is decorated in white pampas and gray buffalo grass. His sheepskin vessel is made from palm bark and shiny gray silver leaf. A floral merry-go-round of green tea leaves has children circling in delight. That tree is adorned in walnut shell, coconut, sweet pepper, and coffee. The Sikh American Float Foundation reminds us that building bridges of love, compassion, and understanding creates a nurturing environment, not only for our children, but in fact for each and every one of us.
It is lovely. And all the way from Wisconsin's Dairyland, let's turn up the music here. This is the Greendale High School Marching Band. 1/3 of their entire school student body is in this band. They say they keep that number growing because their mantra is simple. It's just have fun. Schools, there are no auditions for the Greendale Marching Band. Everyone is welcome, regardless of musical experience or ability. And look at how professional they sound and how accomplished. Let everybody in, and they do get everybody joining.
There it is. Aubrey Hepburn once said, "To plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow." Boy, is that true. That is the inspiration behind Mrs. Meyer's dazzling garden, and that's why they are the Animation Trophy winner for most outstanding use of animation. Everything has come to life in front of us. A spinning umbrella made from ground parsley flakes, yellow straw flour, and brown coffee. There's moving watermelons, bowing radishes, and dancing roses. There's a water can, which is a mix of silver leaf, ground white pepper, and poppy seeds. Giant sunflower faces with cheeks of almonds and eyes of white soybeans, all shining brightly. I say go plant yourself a garden.
Representing Big Ten country are the Mid-American Cowgirls Rodeo Drill Team. This is an all-female equestrian team. There are 4 sets, by the way, of mothers and daughters in there today. They're from Three Oaks, Michigan, outfitted in white leather chaps, gloves, and custom-made black cowboy hats with silver stars. And their horses are matched in custom-made tack with silver inlay and Austrian crystals. They're riding a variety of breeds, and we welcome them to the parade.
First responders bring hope. The Oddfellows and Rebecca's honor each and every one of them all across the country. It took a whole lot of red carnations to create that life-size hook and ladder you see there. Orange lentil seeds and large red kidney beans give the truck its signature lights. Tires of black seaweed and hubcaps of shiny gray silver leaf keep the truck looking well cared for. And that banner says it all. First responders, thank you for all of your service. You are true heroes. And on board, some first responders from Maine, Iowa, Nevada, and New York.
You know who's also on board? You see waving there Donna Sanford, I believe is with her 11-year-old Dutch Shepherd named Kiri. They represent the canine search and rescue teams who help to save lives. We appreciate all our first responders so much. There's the pup.
Yeah.
I think Kiri is retiring this year, so nicely done, Kiri. Look at that face.
But boy, did they provide such a service. Such a service.
I'm sure they're going to get a lot of love as they make their way down the 5.5 miles here today. We welcome you to a brand new year.
Yeah, yes.
They sure do, Mark. I'm Lisa Gibbons.
Mark Steinis, and Happy New Year, everyone.
Pearland Marching Band with their motto of pride, honor, and success. This band takes 2 things seriously: performing at their school's Friday night football games and supporting local businesses with their grand openings and celebrations. They are all about community and are ready to support whoever is in need. Let's take a listen, thanks to our friends at Blue Shield of California. Congratulations, Pearland High School Marching Band. Welcome to your first Rose Parade, all 342 members of this band. You know, back in 2017, Pearland, Texas was devastated by Hurricane Harvey, and the Pearland High School Band organized the band hall as a clothing drive center for the relief shelter. They've done so much wonderful work in their community, and now they're sharing their love of community with all of us here in Southern California and around the world. You can feel it. This year's first Latino Rose Parade president, the band will be playing Kool and the Gang's Celebration. You might hear it now. I hope you do. I know I do. Also later on, Get on Your Feet by Gloria Estefan.
I'm very excited about this one, Mark and Micah. If you've ever felt like your home is your castle, you can relate to this float. The SCAN Foundation honors all caregivers who help older adults realize their dream to remain in their home. And the idea was simple. Let's jumpstart the conversation about getting older and honoring the everyday heroes who defend the dignity and independence of our loved ones. Mark, as you know, this is very close to my heart. It's what we do at our nonprofit Lisa's Care Connection. We try to offer support to these families who are on a very difficult journey. And they have just shown this so beautifully with their float, because caregivers don't often identify, but there are 41 million of them in this country alone. Many of you are watching today. You are the glue that holds everything together.
You know, your passion for that is the passion that I have for these little guys as well. Therapy animals of all types. This group is from Calabasas, California. Our next entry might be small in stature, but they more than make up for it in heart. Mighty and powerful, these little guys bring a whole lot of hope, comfort, and smiles to children and adults throughout Southern California. Led by Marshal Victoria Nodif-Netino, these tiny titans do their best work, visiting hospitals, visiting children there who have undergone difficult medical procedures. These miniature horses, by the way, are full of tricks, all sorts of them. They're good spirit, delighting audiences. They stand on their hind legs, they smile, they play the keyboard with their muzzles, no doubt.
Sliding and swinging down Colorado Boulevard now is Fezzy the Bear and his friends from Shriners Hospital with their float Hope Knows No Limits. Here's the scene. It's a carefree day at the playground, and that lovable bear is covered in mums and lima beans. His playmate's face is made from a mixture of spices. They say it's a secret recipe. No one will really tell us how they do it. Her long eyelashes are constructed from black buffalo grass, and shiny gray silver leaf is what gives her prosthetic leg very realistic look. They tell us that for them, hope guides everything. Through their specialty care and research for children, Shriners believe in the endless possibilities in life. Waving to us from the float there are Shriner staff and some of the ambassadors. We thank you for such great work. Hi.
I think it's such a wonderful statement to having that child represented there with a prosthetic leg.
That's important for so many people watching who want to see themselves, and especially
inclusion. Yes.
Yeah, the work that we do and to destigmatize and create universal acceptance is important. And the Rose Parade is doing that this year, I think, particularly well because of the theme, the power of hope. You know, there's hope in the faces of every spectator, and certainly the bands and the equestrians and the floats and all the people that put such care into, you know, gluing on a tiny little lentil seed,
yes,
a lima bean. You know, they go, that's what I did coming down the boulevard.
And they do that year after year after year. The people that we met in those float barns would have pins from dating back, you know, 20 years that they come and they give up all of their free time. All right, here comes a band in green, white, and silver. This is Centenaria Banda Colio from the University of Puerto Rico, Mayuez. This Campos. This band got its start more than 100 years ago. You see them coming around the corner. There's about 155 members strong. Wonderful band, another one of those international bands that we spoke of that are here today to not only present their colors and their talents, but to bring their culture to share with us on what is this first day of a brand new decade and a brand new year. Let's take a listen in. This group first was established in 1914. Well, not this particular group, but the band was established then, and they were created as part of the university's Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps. I love the rich history behind so many of these bands. There's a tradition that goes on for decades. The color guard was added in 1981, giving the band a very vibrant performance that included dance.
You know, this band, again, represents hope because it's been a couple of years now since Hurricane Maria tore through Puerto Rico. And while the island continues to rebuild, the band community really pulled together. They did everything they could in order to make sure that this band could perform for all of you here today. That is a lot of pride.
Yeah, you know, many of the tuba players and percussionists took their instruments home with them because they were so important to them. They wanted to keep them safe, and fortunately that was the right choice because the band's storage and rehearsal rooms were severely damaged by that hurricane, and in essence they saved their instruments from that hurricane.
Kalahiki Ola, it is the dawning of a new day. And on this New Year's Day, you are looking at a President's Trophy for most outstanding use and presentation of flowers. Sierra Madre reminds us that with every sunrise, life offers opportunity, and it's up to us to make the most of it. What a better way to start 2020 than in a Hawaiian paradise, complete with rotating tikis made of redwood bark and magnolia leaf, and decorated in annatto seeds and dried goji berries. Tropic birds of coconut flakes and nigella glide through the air above the swaying hula dancers. Sierra Madre is one of those long-standing participants we have in our Rose Parade. This year marks their 88th appearance, Mark.
9 times out of 10, I will tell you this next group is my favorite.
Oh, you say that all the time.
I do, but it's true. The Budweiser Clydesdales here. You know, they're massive, beautiful. They were first introduced into the U.S. more than 150 years ago and chosen as Budweiser's mascot to celebrate the end of Prohibition. That was in 1923. Now listen to this. To qualify to be a world-famous 8-horse hitch on one of the Budweiser Clydesdales, you have to meet requirements. You first have to be 4 years old, stand 6 feet tall at the shoulder, have a brown bay coat, 4 white stockings, a white blaze down their face, and a black mane and tail. But most importantly, above all of that, they have to have a very gentle temperament.
Boy, are they beautiful. They make me feel short, and I thought I was a tall guy. Hey, with their sleek and sophisticated design for this year's Rose Parade, Dole Packaged Foods continues their commitment to helping build a better world and delivers sunshine for all. They've also delivered a winner, the Queen Trophy for Most Outstanding Presentation of Roses. A vibrant rising sun is filled with more than 60,000 roses and carnations in ombre colors. Its outer edges are crafted in crisp white coconut with cascading waterfalls into a tropical garden of Protea, Banksia, and ginger. This great spectacle of sun here to remind us that Dole is about putting health and well-being within reach of people around the world.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. In 2020, drive strong from start to finish all year long. Happy New Year from Goodyear. More driven.
With uniforms resembling the 19th century royal guards of the Hawaiian Kingdom, here are the Kamehameha Warrior Marching Band and Color Guard from Hawaii. We have a band moment today brought to you thanks to Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Listen in. The students at this private school are of Hawaiian ancestry. They've got 3 campuses across the islands of Oahu, Maui, and Hawaii.
You know, because they are from Hawaii, they're probably the only people here who are saying, ooh, it's chilly today.
Right. And it's warming up, so you'll see a lot of people in the crowds taking those coats off.
All right, making their 65th year participating in the Rose Parade. This is the city of Torrance, California, with our Garden of Hope, Hopes and Dreams, and the winner of the Princess Trophy for most outstanding floral presentation among entries 35 feet under in length. This tranquil Japanese setting is crafted after a real pine wind garden, the real pine wind garden, which sits at the heart of Torrance's cultural center. Tranquil stone lanterns, or tories as they're called, and rocks are given that granite look with black poppy and gray lettuce seed. Gradients of blue iris, delphinium, and hydrangea create the ebb and flow of the pond from the real waterfalls, the very real waterfalls, in this majestic setting. The koi fish, by the way, are constructed of orange and yellow lentils and black chive seeds.
This next group looks like they stepped out of a royal pageant. It's the Scripps Miramar Ranch, led by their marshal, Michelle McFarland. This year, the riders have luxurious capes and gold crowns on. The horses march in custom-made saddles with brass ornaments. And if you look there, you could probably see our friend, Carson Presley.
There he is.
There is Carson. Oh, he's loving wearing that headpiece, let me tell you. He's riding on his horse named Flurry. He's very passionate about horses, has often been in our parade.
A long time.
These are very beautiful Pinto American saddlebreds. They've been prized throughout history.
All right, we'll say goodbye to Carson and we'll say hello to Growing a Better Tomorrow. It's more than just a garden. It's Western Asset Management's answer to believing in the power to shape the future. This beautifully abundant garden in full bloom shows off orange roses, red king ginger, curly willows, and trees of green asparagus plumosa. Illuminated tiki torches, a pool of irises and gypsophilia, and vibrant colored parrots hint that we are indeed in paradise. Houses built in walnut shell and corn husk make this peaceful spot a perfect place to settle in. The annual float building tradition at Western Asset is a team building project that starts with employees joining together to come up with a design, choosing a name, and even decorating the float itself. Proof that working together to build a better future does indeed inspire beauty. I would love to just climb around in there and float.
Right. I don't know if you can hear the crowd, but they are already loving this band. You know, marching band performances have become something more than musicians in unison. You add a little Louisiana spice to the mix in this one, and you get a performance that knocks it out of the park with a high knee, back-bending majorette, and a cymbal-smashing, horn-blasting brass band. This is the Southern University Human Jukebox Marching Band. Music in motion. The Human Jukebox prides itself on executing precision drills like no other marching ensemble. Yes. Makes me happy. It really does. It's been 40 years since they've been in our parade. We are so glad they're back. Real crowd pleasers.
I'm sorry, I completely checked out. I just was sitting there watching them.
Oh, man. You know, Kaiser Permanente certainly has a lot to celebrate on this New Year's Day. The Wrigley Legacy Trophy for most outstanding display of floral presentation, float design, and entertainment. Kaiser also celebrating 75 years with Courage to Reimagine. Just like Frank Baum, author of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, imagined a world which transcended stereotypes, Kaiser has been committed to reimagining healthcare. So we follow the yellow brick road. The village chimneys, fashioned from dehydrated carrots and red bell peppers. The Emerald City in all its green Galax glory shines bright at the end of the path. And Toto, look at that, with the best scene of all, up in the hot air balloon made from dehydrated green onions and parsley flakes. A scarecrow neurologist, a tin woodman cardiologist, a larger-than-life lion representing mental health, and a registered nurse dressed as Dorothy steal the spotlight, don't they?
Oh, love that story. All right, California's beloved Knott's Berry Farm turns 100 years old this year, and Cowboys, the classic stagecoach, a Surrey wagon, and the original horse-drawn buggy that Walter and Cordelia Knott rode around in remind us that this popular theme park was once a small berry farm with wild western roots. Those strapping beauties stealing the show are male thoroughbreds. But of course, we can't forget about Snoopy. Down there somewhere. There's Snoopy. He outshines them all. Happy 100th Knott's Berry Farm.
It's not every day, Mark, that you get to see a giraffe helping a turtle learn to fly. But that's what Kiwanis International is all about this year, helping youth find the wings to soar. Very sweet float. The giraffe's mane is made from palm fiber, and her eyes are made of black beans and walnut shells. And that cute little baby turtle with his pinto bean aviator goggles and little footpaths of halved Brussels sprouts, he is ready to take flight with the help of Kiwanis members there, waving and cheering him on. They're very proud of Kiwanis that this float was decorated in part by members of their Action Club. These are adults with disabilities, one of the many programs that they have. Nicely done.
Well, if a rodeo had a Super Bowl, these cowboys would be the world champions. The Gold Buckle Brigade is the Cowboy Channel's pride in Western lifestyle and sporting events. Each rider from this elite group is wearing their prestigious Gold Buckle, one earned at the national finals, where they competed in events like bareback riding, the down roping and saddle bronc and steer wrestling. They are all riding American quarter horses. Very talented. The riders and their horses are wearing rodeo gear and saddles that were worn during their championship competitions. Look at that. Isn't that just a spectacle just to see?
You know, they say that the average equestrian trains 100 hours for this parade, and that the newer horses are typically paired with or wedged between sometimes those more experienced horses to keep them calm, because the distractions are enormous, as you can imagine.
Yes, I mean, there's cameras, there's people there, there's bands playing, loud noises that can happen. There's, whether it's pyrotechnics going off, it doesn't matter.
Make way, Big Apple. After 30 years, rodeo is returning to New York City's Madison Square Garden, and the Cowboy Channel wants to kick off the celebration with Walk, Ride, Rodeo. Fireworks, flags of red kidney beans, and a mechanical bull covered in cowhide put our country's Western heritage front and center. But it is Amberly Snyder, superstar barrel racer, who steals the spotlight with this larger-than-life floral rendition and creme excelsior grass hair, which when we were there when they were building this, the florist art director came in to actually do a personal haircut. So, and it looks amazing. The real Amberly, however, is at the back of this float, waving to the crowds, and she is the star of this one and the power of hope, defying the odds. Whoa, yes, a celebration for her and for all of us on this New Year's Day. Thank you, Cowboy Channel, for adding some fireworks to our festivities.
Back to what you were saying about keeping the horses from being spooked.
Exactly.
Right.
That mechanical bull, no problem.
Yeah.
But I do want you to see Amberly, because she defied the odds. She came back to barrel racing after she had a car accident. You could see she's in a chair. She was paralyzed from the waist down, and it happened right after the Rose Parade in 2010, in which she was a participant.
What, 9 days or so right after that? Yeah. And then when she still competes, she's buckled in, strapped on, and she communicates with her horse through her hands, because many times you communicate with your legs, but instead of her legs, she uses her voice and her hands.
Oh, man, Amberly's spirit is contagious. If you are fortunate enough to grow up in the hills of Kingsport, Tennessee, you just may have a shot at playing in the #1 marching band in the state. This is the Dobbins-Bennett High School Marching Band. Let's take a listen, thanks to our friends at Spectrum Mobile. It's no wonder this powerhouse sends more musicians to the Tennessee All-State Band than any other high school. There are 363 members, as you see from that beautiful aerial view, and a look up close as well. Remember, 5.5 miles these band members march and do their thing. It's physically taxing, but emotionally invigorating for these band members. Such a neat thing to see up close. Tennessee, known as the Volunteer State, a little bit for you history buffs, the nickname originating during the War of 1812, when thousands of Tennesseans enlisted in response to the governor's call for volunteers. You can feel the energy. Dobbins Bennett with the largest band program in all of Tennessee. We can hear him around the world on this New Year's Day.
Anybody need a ride? Amazon Studios is ready to roll out their new dramedy film this winter. It's called Troop Zero. Now, I love messages, and today's parade has got a lot of messages in it. Get ready to join forces with a spunky group of elementary school misfits led by the courageous Christmas Flint. That's what you can call me, Lisa, is Christmas Flint, because that is her name. She dreams of living in outer space, and to get there, she needs to win the big talent show. So their macaroon, coconut, and celery seed covered bus is more than just a ride. It's a vehicle of force, enhanced by that rocket you see there on the roof. The bursting meteors of yellow and red carnations, and the satellite ahead is covered in silver leaf and straw flower. Amazon's ragtag scout team promises to deliver a family-friendly dramedy about acceptance. The message is acceptance and the power of friendship. And I'm sure they picked a good show. Picked a good show for this year's parade theme.
Those are the Girl Scouts from Chino Hills waving, crammed into that bus. They're happy to be here. You know, all of these floats, if you're in the area, they will be parked. For the next 3 days, you can actually come see them up close and get a real bird's eye view, a real in-person view of the majesty that goes into this detail.
Yeah, that is going to be from today until 5, and then tomorrow, January 2nd, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. if you want to see those. By the way, that's a real bus underneath all of that organic covering that is there. That bus was, by the way, built in California, constructed here. We found that out when we did our float tour.
So many things you don't think about, like the temperature that they have to keep in this bus. There were certain criteria, and the temperature for the drivers of the floats.
Yes.
This parade, every detail is looked after. And look at this band. Look at the majesty.
View. Yes. Wow. Still coming around the corner. You know, you mentioned about the drivers. I will tell you, we spoke with some of the float builders, and these drivers will get behind the wheel, or so behind the steering wheel, and they'll be there for 6 to 7 hours.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let me tell you about our next band unit. Comes from a vibrant and passionate Latin American nation who brought their best band members across the land to perform their country's most popular rhythms. Coming your way now, the Banda El Salvador Grande Como Su Gente. We can see their color, we can see their dances, we can see their costuming, and I hope we're going to be able to hear their sounds. They've practiced very hard to be here.
They're coming around the corner. It's taking a little bit for them to make that swing. But they are now getting that full vision down Colorado Boulevard, lined with 1 million people estimated to be.
Here we go. El Salvador Grande Como Su Gente all started with the power of hope as a way to fight crime. We've heard this story about bands. This was created to give kids a chance to just get off the streets, learn a new skill, be involved in the arts, and they love it. Some great, proud parent moments, too, of these close-ups of these faces.
But it is so true to keep these idle hands busy. especially at that young age, to learn a skill set like this and then to be rewarded, to be able to participate in such a tradition as the Rose Parade.
Did he just be able to get a wave in while playing that instrument?
Did he?
I love that showmanship.
You got to know where the camera is at all times. Yeah.
We appreciate you.
I will say it takes a village to make this parade happen, a success. And at the Pasadena Tournament of Roses, there are 935 members to this family. We'd like to give a special thanks to some of those. David Eads, Mindy Deneau, Candy Carlson, Jim Champa, Barbie Blake, Vanessa Schultz. Those are just a few, so many, many more
They
that have
drive
helped
us
us
everywhere we need to go. They
Yes.
give us education about the tournament. They just really do an excellent job with so much care.
And they know so much information about the origins of everything about this parade. All right, so clearly there is hope for 2020. I'm not talking about the year, I'm talking about vision. That's the title of the book this Young Lion Club is reading with his pal, that owl, and some other friends. The Lions Club is focused on the future, and the Cubs' Lima Bean coffee-covered book inspires hope. Sporting his new yellow split-pea spectacles, his body and face are covered in pampas grass, seaweed, and ground white pepper. Now his friend, that owl, wisely sitting on his side there, is decorated in Eranthus plumes and gold clover seed.
Oh, he got his shot stolen. There, we're back on him.
There we go. The Lions Club is the world's largest service organization, serving 1.4 million members proudly, helping people in more than 210 countries. Keep up the good work, Lions Club.
And a big welcome to the Buffalo Soldiers Mounted Cavalry Unit. This troop, representing the first African-American soldiers to become members of the United States Army, which happened just after the Civil War in 1867. This team of historical educators pays homage to the black men of the American frontier who surveyed the land, mapped the country, and built roads while serving and protecting the United States.
Thanks to them. And for those of you who prefer an alternative to dairy, you're going to appreciate this nutty design from Blue Diamond Almonds.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, right? You know, California's largest export is almonds. Let me take you through this. From the first seed planted to blooming orchards, abuzz with bees. These Central Valley farmers have been delivering that silky smooth almond milk for more than 100 years. And now the almonds on that almond tree are actually made from real crushed almond shells, which is some good recycling. There are 300 pounds of almonds on this float. But the leaves get that vibrant popping color from green roses. You see some floragraphs on the side of the float. They're made from a combination of millet, pumpkin, and flaxseed. Isn't that beautiful?
It is it's the biggest export, right?
Yes.
In California.
And like I think number 6 in the nation. It's very important for us, for our economy.
That's nutty.
Mark Steinis, I can always count on you. Hope you guys are enjoying your New Year's Day, whether you're watching us curled up in your jammies at home, or you're on the streets, or you're those millions of viewers that are enjoying this with our beautiful shots from Pasadena. We hope this is going to be a fantastic year for you.
A fantastic year and a brand new decade. 2020.
A leap year.
It is a leap year indeed, which means we'll have an extra day in February this year and 366 days before we're right back here. Now listen, when you think of a band whose name has the word hurricane in it, well, you might think big. You're right. You could think bold. You're even more right. And mighty. Well, that's the trifecta, and that's exactly what you get with this next band. It's Mississippi's very own West Harrison Hurricane Band. Listen. started in 2009, and it did so just a few years after Hurricane Katrina ravaged the Mississippi coastline. And it has been a symbol of rebirth, actually, for that community ever since. 270 members strong, 907 students at this high school. More than 200 of them play in the band. That should tell you something right there.
Sure does.
A lot of the band members, by the way, we should say and point out, are top-notch academic stars as well.
How you do one thing is how you do everything. Right?
That is so true. It is so true. And I think their attitude, and of course, when you go back to 2009, and you think, wow, that's been, you know, over a decade ago, and it still has had an impact, you know, and this is a positive impact. But the devastation was just so real back then, and today we see rebirth from it. The Rose Parade would not be possible, however, without the hundreds of volunteers from all over the world who come together to make this day happen. As we mentioned earlier, each flower petal, wood chip, even sesame seed is applied with love to the beautiful floats that you have seen here, all by hand. So thank you to all the volunteers.
The City of Hope didn't have to work too hard in coming up with a theme for this year's float. They are simply being themselves, giving people with life-threatening illnesses a second chance. This is so pretty. It won the Past President Trophy Award for Most Outstanding Innovation in the use of floral and non-floral materials. It is bursting with color. That is the wishing tree, which is like the actual one you see on the campus at City of Hope, which is so inspirational to be there. The trunk is crafted in reddish-brown cress seed, soybeans, and coffee. And look at Father Time's smile. He's a little bit shadowed right there, but it's carved into the tree, filled with wisdom. And just a reminder of how precious life is. You see, that's a symbol of City of Hope there, one of the white doves in flight. It's made from powdered rice. Really stands for new beginnings for the patients. And you see City of Hope staff, along with patients, riding on today's float. So they say it takes a village, but looks to me like it takes a city.
It does.
If it's a City of Hope.
The City of Hope's motto, by the way, is there is no profit in curing the body if in the process we destroy the soul. Very important to remember that. All right, here we are. The Salvation Army Tournament of Roses Band performing in what is their 101st consecutive Rose Parade, directed once again by Kevin Larson. Listen in. Try to get your mind around the fact that they have been here for 101 consecutive years is mind-blowing. Joining the group this morning are two bands from the Washington, D.C. area. There's a youth band and adult divisional band. It is the longest consecutive marching band that has performed in the Rose Parade, and they get their start from a small Pasadena Tabernacle Corps band that first appeared in 1920.
Nicely done to their director. This is Kevin Larson's 18th year marching in the parade. And he actually played trombone for the band before that.
You know, his wife is also playing. This is her 18th year marching in the band. She plays an instrument that is called a timbrel.
Oh, like a tambourine.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But she's in there as well. A musical couple. They make beautiful music together, I guess. Would be an easy assumption to make.
And a congratulations to Donate Life, winners of the Judges Trophy for Most Outstanding Float Design and Dramatic Impact. Donate Life reminding us that every day is filled with hope. And to illustrate this, here's Light in the Darkness. This scene from Diwali, the Hindu festival of lights, celebrates the power of unity, light, and love. You see majestic peacocks of blue status and purple dendrobiums symbolizing new life. The brass-colored oil lamps, or diya as they're called, flicker with live fire. Clover seed and gold flax give them their lustrous shine. This is a beautiful float. 44 fluorographs are showcased throughout the float, representing those who have given the ultimate gift of life to others. Red millet, nigella seeds, cinnamon, and ginger, just a few of the materials used to carefully craft those precious memories.
One of our favorites.
Yes.
And this looks like we've just stepped into an old Western movie set. This is the Spirit of the West Riders, preserving, rather, our nation's American Western heritage. So whether it's a cowboy from the 1870s, a horse soldier from the early 1900s, or a side-saddled lady in a long layered skirt, each rider is a living tribute to the equestrians who pioneered our American frontier. And when you see these equestrian units, you need to remember that volunteers are involved here too, because after the horses come by, there's a team of all-female, I understand, poop scoopers.
Oh, really?
Yes, who come by,
and
to make sure the parade route is pristine.
Well, we need to keep that cleaned, right? All cleaned up. Yes. All right, committed to imagining new ways to better serve their customer. Farmers Insurance brings us this. Claims that are both zany and true. Traveling up the conveyor belt of hope is the title of this. It's a mad science lab of green springerei and lavender mums, ruined vehicles and flooded homes being x-rayed and repaired behind a flashing LED screen, which, by the way, Lisa, we talked about how everything needs to be covered on the float with organic material. Well, in this case, they had to get a waiver cleared by the Rose Float Committee, Float Committee, in order to have that. So there's silver leaf gears and a circuit board with flashing orange lentil tracer lights powered this high-tech machine and allowed them to have that waiver so they could have that LED screen. Very creative. Farmer prides itself on great customer service and giving back to their local communities, and karma has it as they recently were awarded a great place to work.
They do a great job with their float too. I always find it so imaginative.
Yeah, and some of the
Really
stuff
fun.
is based off of real claims.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, which is a little alarming.
I'm Lisa Gibbons.
Mark Steinis, and we're with Micah Ullman, and we are in Pasadena, California, watching a brand new year unfold as it does traditionally here for the last 131 years. Rose Parade presented by Honda.
And here they come around the corner, our very own, the talented Los Angeles Unified All-District High School Honor Band. This is a collection of some of LA's finest young musicians. They're comprised of brass and percussionists, drum majors, shield carriers, and tall flags. This band moment brought to us by our friends at Honda. Was specifically designed to give LAUSD students the opportunity to march in the Rose Parade, and they are doing so this year as the largest band in this parade, 380 members strong, Los Angeles Unified Honor Band. The program has served more than 14,000 students since it started in 1973. This is director Tony White's 31st Rose Parade. He grew up in Los Angeles and played the cymbals in both his high school band and this honor band. Congrats, Tony. As well, the assistant director, marching with the honor band for the 35th time. He has been a mainstay in the band as associate director. All of us in Southern California so proud of the LAUSD honor band.
Oh my gosh, this one is stunning. And it won the international trophy for most outstanding float from outside the United States. A music box explosion of Taiwan's cultural and physical treasures. China Airlines brings us dreams of flying, wings of hope. Climb aboard this coconut and silver leaf pedaled plane and take flight to the heart of Asia. This float is an amalgamation of elements representing Taiwan, including a bowl of flying noodles made from cranberry and sesame seed, lanterns of orange lentil, and spinning tops from parsley flakes and ground rice. The Taipei 101 skyscraper soars in macaroon blue status and gold clover seed. And here's a little known fact, or I didn't know anyway, the black bear and blue magpie are both native to Taiwan. Congrats on the award to China Airlines.
And you see those little red cheeks right there? That is from dehydrated strawberries.
And they painstakingly get the color. They have these secret spices. They blend all of this often in like a kitchen blender.
Yeah.
And they come up with these unbelievable tones and these gradations and varieties.
And then they don't want to share it with other
And then they won't tell us.
builders. Yeah,
Well,
they're
that's
like, it's a
understandable.
secret. It's a secret. But it's
We
all
want to
the
say
spices.
to all of our friends, Mark, that have been listening in, our international audience on the AFN networks, especially to our servicemen and women, we don't want our time to close today without saying thank you, and we appreciate you spending your New Year's morning with us.
Yes, and for all the service that you provided and the sacrifice that you have given. May this be one of the best years ahead and the best decades ahead. We do
And now
have
it's
the big
time
moment
for
that's coming up.
Our grand finale moment, as always, presented by Wells Fargo.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to throw the ceremonial 3-mile pass from the Rose Parade to the Rose Bowl Stadium is the newly crowned Miss America, Camille Schreier.
Enjoy the Rose Bowl game.
And now, the Wells Fargo Grand Finale proudly presents the legendary rock and roll band Los Lobos and Hollywood Records recording artist Gary Pool Party.
Well, come on, let's go, little darling. Tell me that you never leave me. Come on, let's go and do it and again and again and again. Well, now swing me, swing me, swing me way down here. Come on, let's go, little darling. Come on, let's go again. Let's go. Well, now I love you so, and I never let you go. Come on, baby, so. Oh, pretty baby, I love you so well. Let's go, little sweetheart. Tell me what we'll be together. Come on, let's go and do it again. Woo! You hold me closer to your fantasy. I can try to be the one you love in me. I'm feeling it sort of like a burden. I feel it in my own for you. Oh, it's hard to breathe in, breathe out. It's hard to say the truth out loud. Para bailar la bamba, te necesito una poca de gracia, otra cosita y arriba, ay, arriba, por ti seré, por ti. Yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. Bamba, 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 bamba. Para bailar la bamba, necesito una poca de gracia, otra cosita. Bamba, 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 bamba.
Just spectacular. We end it the way we began it, with the fireworks and the spectacle and the cheers and Los Lobos.
La Bamba. It never gets old. It never gets old.
Once again, we want to say goodbye to our international audiences. We appreciate you. We thank you. We have had so much fun. I can't think of anything I would rather do than be sitting next to Mark Steinis and have Micah Ullman as our broadcasting partner.
I feel the same way. It's been a spectacular start to a new year and a new decade, Micah.
I tell you what, of all the great moments that you experience, my favorite moment is, frankly, the spirit of the moment itself, the parade. It's such a wonderful, energetic feeling, and in this year in particular, the power of hope. And to think it's a collective experience, unlike really anything else we see and share throughout the year. So it's an absolute thrill to be here and an honor to transmit the experience to those of you watching at home.
And I was going to say I like the Clydesdales, and you had to go. So well put, though.
There were so many firsts, and Mark saw me cheering so many of these strong and powerful women, and we're celebrating the right to vote for women, which was just spectacular. We had a caregiver float this year.
So many things.
So many wonderful things.
Wonderful, yeah.
And so with all of that, and I know you had your favorites at home, we have come to the close of our kickoff for 2020. Thank you to not only all of you for sharing it, but our team here at the Rose Parade. We're a big family.
There's a lot of people to say thank you to: the production assistants and the executive producers and the camera operators and whatnot. But there are two people we would be remiss if we did not take a moment to acknowledge and to express our gratitude. That is the president and general manager, Don Corsini, and our vice president and station manager, John Mazolski. Both are retiring. We will sorely miss you. You have been, your leadership has been unparalleled. Your support has been firm and gentle, and such a guiding force for us. Thank you so much.
And a big thank you as well to all of you watching at home across Southern California, across the country, and around the world.
And with that, we will wish you a happy new year for this final time. Our gratitude. Get on those resolutions. I'm Lisa Gibbons.
I'm Mark Steinis.
And I'm Micah Ullman, wishing you all a happy new year.
Bye-bye. I hope you'll join Mark, Micah, and me, Lisa Gibbons, for a special encore of the 131st Rose Parade presented by Honda. It's next on KTLA 5.